In today's news, the EU is going to delay on further sanctions against Russia. They wanted to perhaps think about some harder sanctions, but they've decided to delay it. Russian state banks and weapon companies and other companies in the oil industries are on the list of possible further sanctions from the EU. In other news, the Ebola epidemic in Liberia is still spreading, according to the World Health Organization. Thousands of new incidents of Ebola are expected, and the WHO is warning about the spread of Ebola, further spread of Ebola in West Africa. And now on to the MH17 topic. Today there was an investigation to the wreckage, and the Dutch investigators have said that the flight crashed suddenly, that there is no evidence of a technical failure, that it was from what they're calling outside sources. They're not using the word missile or military or guns or munition. However, they're saying that the flight, the problems were caused by an outside source, and there's no evidence in the flight recorder of any technical problems. And now moving on to other headlines. As you might have heard, Apple is going to release a new iPhone pretty soon. Yeah, question is, what's going to be part of the features? Maybe a little bit magical, maybe 4.7 inches, 5.5 inches, 3 times resolution. Perhaps there's going to be curved glass screen. I've also heard reports on Twitter of a sapphire screen, total piece of crap, and a mind-reading application. Alright, and now to report on some of the commodity prices. Currently, gold is at today high price of $1,258.30. Silver's high today so far was $19.14 an ounce. Platinum, $1,404 an ounce, and palladium, $891 an ounce. Just a minute, I'm doing the news. Yes. And I'm sorry, we have some technical problems. Just a second. What? Yeah, just a minute, okay? Just a second. Okay, and I also want to report the value of some silver coins that you might have laying around. These are all American coins that have been circulated. So a mercury dime today has the value of $1.36. Pre-1964 or 1964 and older Roosevelt dime also is worth $1.36. A Washington quarter, 1964 and older, is worth approximately $3.42. Walking Liberty half dollar, $6.83. Franklin half dollar, $6.83. 1964 Kennedy, $6.83. They all weigh the same. And if you have a 1965 to 1970 Kennedy, it's worth $2.79. A old peace dollar is worth $14.62, and American Silver Eagle, $18.89. Now over to the crypto world. Currently, we have Dogecoin at 40 Satoshi, Darkcoin at 618,084 Satoshis, and Litecoin at 0.0107 Bitcoin. The current Bitcoin price is $465.69 over at Bitstamp, and at BTCE it's at $466.51, a rare occasion where BTCE is above the Bitstamp price. I think there's some action in the market. All right, Jamie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Leo. It's nice to have a fresh face on the big screen, and we're also joined by Hajan from Thailand. How are you doing today, Hajan?
Good evening, Jamie. Yeah, just back from Bangkok today. Busy day, so I've got a new phone to research on and try and get some of the technology. So we can maybe discuss some of that on another show. You can help me with my phone setup.
So the World Crypto Network is truly worldwide. So I'm coming to you from the United States. We got Theo in Germany, and we got Hajan in Thailand. So representing a variety of time zones here, and it's kind of tricky to schedule these. So we finally decided on universal coordinated time, and that seems to work the best, but it can still get confusing. And I just wanted to go over again what the beta show is about. And if you saw my little promo on Bitcoin Rush, and I want to send a shout out to him again for having me on there. That was some great promotion. And Theo was on the week before me, and he got some good promotion for Sound Wallet. So you can see Bitcoin Rush every Thursday evening, or whatever part of the world you're in, on World Crypto Network also. And he has some really fantastic videos as well. And you see, we can, now I lost my train of thought. The problem of doing
What's going on? Can you turn your microphone up a little bit, Sita? Because I had trouble hearing you. What's going on over in Thailand? Can you tell us anything about, yeah, what's going on? I haven't heard very much in the media here. I mean, it seems like about every month there's some kind of people on the street and, you know, a coup, or I don't know, different, or threatening of a coup, or I don't know, different political factions are, you know, kind of in the street there, and there's a little bit of turmoil. Is it kind of calm right now, or?
It's very calm.
Okay, great.
I believe the southern three provinces, they've had an ongoing problem maybe for the last 5, 6, 7 years, but the demonstrations in Bangkok, different groups, and I think it's the same when you have the anti-Wall Street or anti-globalization. People go to the capital city. The people from the rural communities come to Bangkok because that's where all the government offices are, and people bring their complaints there. The new general, although it's like a military coup here, seems very popular because he's actually doing a lot to give people the streets back, you know, and cracking down on corruption and drugs and different things. So he's got popular support, and I think it's good for the country. I think the country needs a little bit of stability. You know, it's driving away tourists, it's driving away investors, and it just seems to be one group, the next group. As soon as one's off, no matter who wins, if you feel you can take to the streets because you didn't get the decision, as soon as they get in, the next group come back, and then so I think the army have decided that they'll take control, and there's been no demonstrations. It's an interesting time. This is very. I'm a monk. It doesn't sort of affect what I do and my movement, but I haven't heard anybody speaking against it. I know they had the human rights meeting cancelled, but I think they're being fair to everybody. Nobody's allowed to demonstrate. You know, it's just get on with things, and the king's gave his blessing, and in Thailand that is the main thing. If the king gives the army chief his blessing or his say so, then most of the people will support that.
So it's illegal to demonstrate basically under the current government. He's kind of, tried to stabilize things.
They're actually talking about lifting martial law. I'm not sure. This is I try not to involve myself in politics, but when they've had curfews, they would lift them in the tourist areas first, and different, as the different areas have got different reputations and cleared. And I think this idea of having gatherings or street gatherings will happen the same way. He will lift those curfew or laws in the tourist areas, and everything stays calm. He'll lift a few more and back to normal. And I think the majority of people here, tourists, expats, and the Thais themselves, let's get back to respecting each other. If somebody doesn't agree with your decision, that's okay. But in the past, the demonstrations have been turning ugly in the evenings after dark. And the thing with the phones, phone footage and different things, everybody's got cameras now. Thailand's not poor in that sense. Yeah? So, while people have their phones and can record and do different things, I believe things will change here. And it needs the calm in the space. Okay, maybe the people, Americans in general, we don't like to see the military taking over. But I mean, the American military take over other countries. They just don't take over their own. You can give the Thai general respect for that. He doesn't go and invade Cambodia or Indonesia or somewhere. He wants to clean up his own country first, and I think there's a need for it. Thailand doesn't have a great reputation for stability. I think there's been something like 32 coups.
So isn't there still a kind of monarch or something in Thailand? Because if I go if I go eat at the Thai place in my neighborhood, they've got a little picture of this guy on a throne, and yes. I guess so. There's still a kind of, I guess it's kind of like in England, they still have the Queen. Is there some kind of monarch in Thailand?
The Queen in England isn't a popular figure. It can split nations in Scotland and England and Ireland. The King in Thailand unites all of the people. The people have got big respect for him, and that's why I say the army can kick all the government officials out, do what they like, but without the blessing of the King, without going to visit the King and asking for his nod of approval, nothing can happen in Thailand, because the people would support the King, for sure. And any tourists, they have a less majestic here. So the King is not criticised, but he's not criticised by the Thais because most of the Thais actually love the King. A real genuine love and affection for the King. And I think in Western monarchies that's missing. The genuine warmth for the figurehead, constitutional figurehead. Monks shouldn't be involved in politics. The same when I come on to the Bitcoin show, it's not about money for me. It's the technology that use guys, the tech guys, computer guys, coders, how to bridge the gap between Thailand and countries that are lagging behind. This seems a very European and American and maybe Russian driven technology. And Asia doesn't seem to have a foothold on it. And there's some good tech guys here. They just don't speak English. or not communicate very well in English, but they work in English. So I'd love to try and get exposure, and when these people want to try and network with other folks, maybe I can help with the language barrier, maybe I can help with introductions, because I don't want Thailand to slide behind in Bitcoin. I think Jamie's going to talk about BitPay, eBay or PayPal, some developments happening on that. So this technology is 12 million tourists come to Thailand a year. So there's a lot of brands can come with their phones, with their bitcoins and things. But if there's no way for them to spend here, maybe they'll choose to go to Vietnam or Indonesia or Bali, somewhere that's more friendly. And I want to try and ensure that it's a level playing field for the Thai guys and Thai businesses that want to get involved. So I'm trying to get a network and find guys, expats and people here who are up on the technology and can explain it to me and make me understand how important it is. And for me, the blockchain and this openness for NGO, charity work, donations, and a public record and accountability, that is key. That this could be a big tool in any anti-corruption drive.
Yeah, it's really good for donations, like you said, and all kinds of work like that, 'cause it's really transparent. So it's perfect for that. So I think in Thailand, the government kind of laid off the regulation on Bitcoin. They had made it illegal officially, and I think they kind of, you know, laid off it or redefined what they wanted to do.
I think in Thailand, it's one of those things that maybe they need more information about it before they can say definitely what's happening. So they definitely won't back it. But I don't think it's illegal in that sense. There's maybe no regulations for it, and no.
Right.
If there's a dispute arises, how could a court or how could anybody try to adjudicate? And the gemstone deals in Thailand. Thailand's probably the gem capital of the world.
Yeah,
Now,
you're right.
if the gemstone dealers, if they accept Bitcoin, because you can write a check for that diamond, or you can buy it on your credit card, and you can cancel that transaction when you get back on that plane.
Yeah.
But you can't do that with Bitcoin. So
Yeah, so there's this show that's on in America. I don't know if it's still on. I think I saw it last year, and it has like these gem hunters that travel around, and they go to Thailand. They have to carry these big bags of cash, you know, and they're like, you know, doing all these, you know, they make it really dramatic. I'm sure it's, you know, but I mean, I guess there are guys that go around, and you know, they have like, you know, a guy with a gun that's, you know, in the back watching them, where they carry around these big sacks. But you're saying that if they accept Bitcoin, that would be a big deal. If that would get like some flow of Bitcoin, if they would.
Well,
see
even somebody who walks into a gem shop, you go in with your partner and you say, "Oh, wow, that's cheap. I'd like to get that." You can hand over your credit card. You can fly out of Thailand tomorrow, and you can cancel that credit card. And that can create a problem. I know a lot of people in the jewellery business. There's a lot of Westerners and foreigners here doing business, and if people cheat you with fake checks and money orders and stuff, but Bitcoin. So it's something like that. I can maybe discuss with some people I know that own factories and do buying and selling, and say, why don't you? If you have to go to a mine site, you don't want to carry your $3,000 or $300,000 and stuff like that. You can go with your phone. You can do business. You can walk off there with your stones. You know, you can wait your 10 minutes till everything's approved. But if you go into the hills and talk with, I think Madagascar's a more lawless kind of place, right? And Madagascar's got gemstones. So it could be that this is why I say that I think it can improve safety, transparency. You bought them, and there's no dispute about who purchased them and who they belong to and stuff. I think Bitcoin and the blockchain offers a lot of avenues. It's definitely something that will change the way that the world operates. And the monks, okay, we don't need to be leaders in it, but people in Thailand respect their opinions. So if we're going to discuss it, we should do it from a point of knowledge. And I don't have that much, but I'm prepared to invest the time if people like Chris, Andreas, Chris, I'll watch those shows and I'll send questions, and hopefully I'm pegging it at a level where other people who don't understand cryptographic and inside computers and stuff. But the blockchain is what excites me. Not the money, not the value, but the way that it's done. And I'm trying to organize my time schedule and stuff. So the more that I come on the show, the more comfortable I feel around you guys. You know, it's being on a camera. It's not easy. I appreciate Jamie making a platform just to get us used to speaking on camera or preparing show notes, which it seems none of us have got experience in. So I will do show later on.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I wanted to do with this show was I've had, I haven't got a lot of experience doing this, but I've been doing it a little bit more than the other people, and I just wanted to try and bring some of the people here that have some experience on to be a backup host for people that wanted to try their show ideas. Like Theo, he's good at doing the news and things like that. And now I thought it was good that, it added an air of legitimacy to his art too, having his kid come on the back there. So now we know it isn't his drawings. But
yeah, no, I just did that off the top of my head because you sent me the message, and I thought, okay, well, we talked about. Someone mentioned, well, we should, collect the news from around the world and do a kind of news show. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just, well, what I tried to do is so I'm here in Germany, so I tried to translate some of the news from German because sometimes you get, I mean, if I had, maybe next time, maybe I'll try to do it again. But what's good if you know another language is that, you get different news. They report on different stuff, and they report on a lot of the same things, but sometimes you get a little bit of a different attitude. So it's kind of like when the airplane went down in Ukraine, for example, the Malaysian flight, then well, I'm here in Germany. I mean, it was all over the news here. I don't really watch TV. I mean, I'm on the internet and I listen to the radio, and that's it. So I don't know what the TV was like. But the radio was nonstop talking about that pretty much, and there was a lot about it on the internet. And I heard that the American TV couldn't get enough of it, and of course, if you went over to the RT, the Russian channel, they couldn't get enough of it either. But they had very different stories. They had totally different stories. So I think that maybe there could be a way where we report on, what different sides are kind of saying to kind of, get some kind of equilibrium. I mean, yeah, we can talk about if that makes sense to do a show, really like a news show or not. But if we were going to do it and it's not about crypto stuff, then we have to have sources. I mean, we can't, go around as reporters everywhere and, get our own stories. We could, but pretty much I just recycled, the few headlines that I found. And I'm interested in silver and gold and all that kind of stuff anyway, and I thought I'd just report on the prices in a little bit of a different way because they've got these coins, how much a coin is really worth, that you could just have in your hand, and you can still find some of these coins in America in circulation if you if you get lucky and you go through your coins. It's possible. So I thought that was thing. Yeah, recycling news. I mean, that's what all the other news channels are doing anyway. They're not getting their own. I mean, come on. They're just the guys that are on TV. They're just recycling. What do you have for sources? You got Bloomberg, Reuters, and what? BBC, NPR. That's about it. I mean, what are the real news sources? Okay, I guess you got RT because that's Russian. That's the Russian stream. I mean, there's not that many sources anyway.
You ever watch Al Jazeera?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, that's a lot different view too, because they're from that's going to be different than the Russian one, and that's going to be different than CNN too. So yeah, that's a good one. I got to check that out more. When I was visiting America recently, my parents had that on their cable system, and so I watched it a few times. That was pretty interesting. Al Jazeera USA, I think it's called. So that was pretty
I don't
good.
have a TV or anything like that, but I do visit other friends that have it, and I've seen Al Jazeera a handful of times, to be honest, not many, but I was very surprised at how different the same story. It just completely different news outside of the story. So I think that's nice, is to take two or three and try and figure out where the truth actually lies, because it's not on any
Exactly.
one channel or one version.
Exactly. I mean, you just have to, think about who the sender is. I mean, if you go to RT, I mean, I like RT, and I guess I agree with some of the things that they say, but I mean, you have to, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, they are, RT is their Russian television. They're not going to be pro-American, really. So they're going to be saying things that are like, oh, the dollar is going to collapse, or allude to this kind of economic things. You know what I mean? And Al Jazeera, I don't know, maybe a little bit that, maybe not, but like you said, they're going to have a lot different viewpoint than maybe in America Fox, which is for America kind of conservative
Just to get
channel. Or
just to get people's viewpoint in different countries. And not news journalists, not professionals, just people that want to.
that would be great. That would be
That,
perfect. We had,
I think so.
yeah,
So it's not about crypto. They only need to do 5 or 10 minutes, or whatever they feel that their side of the story or their version of events is not getting
yeah,
out. And to me, I think it's maybe a young the students that are doing journalism and stuff, and they don't have their own channels and networks and jobs, and they don't have money, but they could make a short clip and send it up to people.
Well, yeah. Now you don't need a big budget. You just need a computer and a webcam, and you can go into Google Hangouts and make a little show like this, pretty much. But yeah. I mean, if we met someone that came on, for example, that just called a few times at Bitcoin Talk Show, so on Wednesday, and we kind of got to know them, then they could report too. The problem is if you just open it up to anybody, you don't know, it's that you might not know them that well, and you don't know really what their motives are. But I think that if someone we knew a little bit, it's that we're talking with pretty often, and they wanted to report about something, I think that would be great. I think that's the whole point.
We got a comment in the Q&A here. It says, Sita's comprehension of crypto is epic. It's not about the greed, it's about integrity. He pities those that can't see it in the light. Maybe we'd be further on. And that is from Tone P.
Well, that's a nice compliment for. Yeah, well,
I don't see the comment, but
if you click over, and well, let's just do a quick tech tip here while we're in Hangouts. If people use Hangouts, I'll do a screen share here, and
you need to turn your mic up, Sita, because
I do.
A viewer, or can you do that, Jamie? I don't know.
No, I can't.
That's because I got a new mic or camera. I'm not on my normal computer.
Well, maybe I'll have to just talk louder. Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so a tech tip on, what was it I was going to do? How to get to the Q&A. So we go to the left-hand side, and you should have a thing, if you move your cursor over there, your mouse, a thing that says Q&A. If you just click on that, it'll pop up over here on the right.
Ah, got it.
And that's one thing that we're going to try to do on shows too, is just have one little quick tech tip like that. It's not real in depth, but it's just a handy tip. And Now to get out of that again, if you want to go back to the chat that's in, that only the people in the actual Hangout can see, you just click on the chat up above again, and it'll take back to that. And you got all these other ones over there that we won't go over right now, but I will let you guys have the show back.
Okay. That in your show notes, Jamie, you were going to talk about was it BitPay, eBay, PayPal? Some news about PayPal.
Yeah, well, yesterday PayPal came out. It was PayPal and BitPay, or not BitPay, whatever Uber's company is, and them came out with
It's called Braintree, I think, and has some
Yeah,
association with PayPal, and PayPal has an association with eBay. So it's all eBay owns PayPal, and this Braintree is like some kind of branch of PayPal, I think, right, Jamie?
Yeah. Yeah, but I saw the interview then last night of the CEO of the entire conglomerate talking about it, and was talking about how they'd done a partnership with Coinbase to accept Bitcoin, and it looks like they'll be charging a 1% fee on Bitcoin transactions, converting cash into Bitcoin. But it looks like the customers that sign up for Coinbase to do this get their first $1 million of transactions done for free. So that's really a good deal, actually, to get $1 million of transactions done free if you do it through Bitcoin, because I mean, normally if you do it just through credit cards and stuff, it's, I would imagine, right around that same cost. And so if at the very least you would still get your $1 million of free transactions, and a lot of small businesses would take a long time for them to get $1 million worth of transactions anyway.
Are you sure that they're going to give away each individual $1 million of transactions like that? Maybe it was just the first million in general. I don't know. I haven't read the article, so I can't say.
No, I'm pretty sure Coinbase has had this deal always, that when a business signs up for Coinbase to be that they get their first $1 million worth of transactions for free to convert Bitcoin to fiat. Because I remember Midas Marnie talking about that on her show.
Did you watch Midas Marnie's show when she was interviewing the Women's Annex Foundation?
Yes, that was a very good interview. She had on a woman from Afghanistan that was talking about how Bitcoin has really helped with transferring money to Afghanistan to help women out there, because women have such a hard time getting bank accounts and having money in those regions, and especially if they're under 18 years old. So now these women in Afghanistan,
they do other things. I looked up the site and I put a link in under the show notes, because that foundation, I take an interest in a lot of NGO work and stuff, and it's very good website, nice to look at. So that's to say, I see Bitcoin and blockchain and crypto, whatever. I'm still not sure of all the terminology, but the way that it can change things that can be done. These women in other countries, America and Australia, can help the folks back home, especially those that are shut out. There's entry barriers to banking and different things. So Um, I think we should, World Crypto Network and people should try to encourage more of them to come in and find out how to use this technology.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's needed too is we need to focus on basic education of Bitcoin and how to just do the entry level stuff. It's still very hard for people that are just coming in off the street that just heard about Bitcoin. If they want to buy Bitcoin or want to get started, they don't know where to start. And because it's still very confusing because there's so much information out there, but a lot of it's technical. And I'd read an article about these people went to a Bitcoin conference because they thought they were going to learn how to use Bitcoin, and they just left confused, and they pretty much just abandoned the idea then because they didn't have any basic level classes or whatever at that conference.
Well, this is it. Where is a good starting point? For me, I dug out the name Chris Ellis and I looked him up and I tried to find him because he sounded like somebody that knew what he was talking about. But not to explain it to me, just to point me in the right direction. Where do I go from here? Where do I start? And that's the sort of links that people need. If it's recommended by WCN or Let's Talk Bitcoin and people that we know are sort of respected in the community, just point us to the sites that the information's good and clear on.
Yeah, kind of a vetted site.
Well, we had last week we had a discussion on Chris Before Coffee about about how to teach about Bitcoin and what are some of the people's experiences trying to explain it to people. And so there is one really good, okay, I'll do a little screen share thing, hold on. There is one really good series of YouTube videos and by this guy, James D'Angelo. And they're actually, I guess he's part of the World Bitcoin Network, not World Crypto Network. But his videos are really good, and they're suitable for all levels, beginner to advanced, because he goes over a lot of fundamental things that I think advanced people could also hear again without a problem. And he's got a really good, their videos are made really well, and I think they're really good. Let's see, just to understand how to store your Bitcoins, for example, Thomas made some good videos about that. I made a site called explainbitcoin.com, and I tried to explain it too, some basic stuff, and really common questions over here that I hear over and over again. And I just gave pretty short answers. Some people gave me feedback, yeah, that's such a short answer, that's not really explaining it. But I wanted to explain it. The problem is that I come across is that you get into these really long discussions because Bitcoin isn't an easy thing. So I thought that it's good to have really short explanations, and then later you can go back over it and get really deep into something that you're more interested in. You know,
yeah, it could be like, if you want to know more, go here.
Could I make a suggestion that you color code, have three bands? So you've got beginner level, intermediate, and then you've got the Christoph level, the high-tech, big discussion and stuff. Because my level, I can't jump into a deep discussion. I need to, the basic, oh, I've got that, I know that already. I need to go to the, and if it was color coded, people would know. You know, if it was just three colors, red, yellow, and blue, which level are you at? Which level of understanding do you have?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I tried to make explainbitcoin.com for beginners, for everybody. I think it's kind of boring for a beginner.
No, for children, for school level education. You know,
okay, yeah.
They have a huge vocabulary and stuff, but
Yeah.
They got the break.
Yeah, well, I think I mean, it's starting to develop. I mean, there's something, I haven't looked at it. There's something called, what was it called, Coin Academy, and they're giving free courses on their website. So I think it's called coinacademy.com, and I think that's free.
That was in
Yeah,
the
I
show
think
that
so.
you mentioned at the beginning. Rush Bit.
Bitcoin Rush.
The
Bitcoin
coin.
Rush is a show. That's a show on World Crypto Network once a week, and he just does general news, and it's really good. And you know, and he invites one person on every week to talk 1 minute. Maybe you could be on, for example. Who knows? And that's also a good show. I mean, there's a lot of good shows. I don't even know all the names of the Let's Talk Bitcoin shows. I mean, they do more. Let's Talk Bitcoin does more podcasts, so it's just audio. And I think they have some that are good for beginners too. I mean, they do get really in depth, getting really, you know, heavy into coding and theoretical stuff that can be pretty intense. But I think they do have some shows for beginners. But I would just have to look for the title. I don't know it right off the top of my head. I don't know if Jamie does either. But there are resources out there. I think a good starting point is that those videos. This guy, James D'Angelo, does a really good job explaining things. Um, and what I was saying is that the best way I've seen to show people is to just give them some Bitcoin. So what you do is you just got to have a phone or a computer, and they need to have a phone or a computer with them. And you just say, okay, I'm just going to give you some, just be like 50 cents worth or whatever, and then you give them some, and then you go look it up on the blockchain, what the transaction you just did, and you've already, you know, showed them a lot. And I think we need to, you know, just show by doing these little actions like that is a lot easier for a lot of people. Some people are, you know, more learners by listening and all that kind of stuff, but I think just showing people that and how easy it is. I mean, a lot of people, when I gave them the Bitcoin over the phone, they were like, wow, I've got it. That's amazing, you know. So, you know, everyone's talking about all this virtual money, and it's kind of hard for people to understand unless they see it. And the way you see it is that you give the person some, in my
Until you
opinion.
can hand one of those coins to my mum, she'll never believe in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I gave my parents paper wallets, and they're still kind of like, okay, so what do I do with this? And I said, just keep it safe. You know, don't throw it away. I don't have any backup. You know, just put it away for now. And, you know, I set them up with a wallet, but I don't think they really know exactly what to do with it. But they have a wallet, and they have, you know, a little bit on there, and they've got, you know, some paper wallets. And I just told them just to hold those for now. And, you know, so that's also, I mean, paper wallets are also nice because you can, you know, it's an object and people kind of understand that looks like the legacy money people are used to because it looks like a bill. So I think those are a real easy way. I think just giving people Bitcoin and let them do what they want with it is a real easy way to educate people. If you just do it in your everyday life or if you do it at an event, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I mean, you could do both ways, in my opinion. What do you think, Jamie?
I think, you know, everybody's got a different learning style, and whatever works to teach them, I think it's going to just take a couple different, you know, several different ways of teaching, and everybody's got their own teaching style too. So, you know, I'll probably make some beginner videos, and you know, we'll just get a collection of some videos made, and people can try them out. I think the key is to make them short and to the point, so people don't have to wade through these great big long videos and then be confused at the end, where they can just watch a video for, you know, 2 minutes or something, or less than 5 minutes anyway, and get something out of it rather than watch a 2-hour video. I think.
I don't. Well,
I'll try and a screen share demonstration for Hangouts then?
What's that?
I said I will try and make a screen share video for Google Hangouts because that looks quite simple. Maybe I can handle that. Yeah, and play around. Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, the screen share in Hangouts is pretty much the same as the Q&A. All of that stuff is over on the left-hand sidebar. The problem with screen share is sometimes you get your own video caught in there, and then it just kind of goes into infinity. So you end up with a thing that looks like that. So, yeah. And then you end up panicking. Yeah, we can practice with that sometime. But what'll happen is, I've had this happen when I was beginning, is I panicked when that happened, and I ended up hanging up on the Hangout, and it ended the broadcast. So you gotta just keep your wits about you and just end the screen share if that happens, and make sure or choose another window.
Yeah, that's to say, doing. I really got to give a lot of credit to Derek J, Chris, and these folks that make the hosting look so easy. I see the chats, the different boxes. There's a lot to do, and I'm more than happy to join your show as a guest and ask my questions. But I think hosting is quite far down the track for me. I think you've got to be good at multitasking.
Well, and like I said, and for anybody out there watching, if you want to help and want to try doing your own show, if you got an idea for a show, or if there's something you want us to discuss on, like Chris Before Coffee or something, or got something you would like maybe Theo to cover, track something on the news, or a headline, track a price of palladium or something, to add that to it, or whatever. We're open to suggestions. We're still trying to figure this out.
Well, there's a lot already figured out. Let's do some advertising for the other shows. So let's see.
Yeah.
Today is Dark News, right?
Yeah, we got Dark News coming up in 2 or 3 hours.
In 2 or 3 hours, that's always really good, really interesting. Then tomorrow is Chris Before Coffee, and then Bitcoin Talk Show. And Bitcoin Talk Show is also really interesting, and anyone can call up or Skype in and say what they want. Then what's on Thursday again?
On Thursday we got Midas Marnie
right.
What is she at? About 7 o'clock UTC, I believe.
Yeah, so she's got some good interviews with different small businesses that are going to integrate Bitcoin, and they talk normally about those kind of topics and a lot of other things. Let's see, on Friday, what's on Friday, Jamie?
The Bitcoin Group, and that is probably about not midnight, at 11 p.m., I believe, UTC. Or 10 p.m. UTC.
10 p.m. UTC, yeah. Bitcoin Group is 10 p.m. UTC. Yeah, we got to figure out. And then I think on the weekend, and every day is Mad Bitcoins, right?
Yeah.
Does it on the weekend too, right?
I'm not sure. I think
Monday through Friday at least.
Yeah.
I think so. On the weekend, it's pretty doldrum kind of thing. But besides that, there's a lot of stuff already going on. Yeah, and so if anyone's watching that wants to get involved, I would encourage them just to call up on Wednesday at the Bitcoin Talk Show and just start talking basically about your ideas or whatever. I think that's the easiest way to kind of get into it or whatever, or to practice also, because it's also live, and it's also fun because it's a totally live show. So it's just like in the old days where you used to call up on the radio and they put you on the air. Well, now it's the internet.
Yeah, and you don't have to, do a live show either. We're interested in pre-recorded content too. If you got a show idea, like Bitcoin Rush, he does, or Mad Bitcoins, not all his shows are live, where they do kind of a production, but it doesn't have to be a production either where you got all the fancy graphics either. We're more interested, I think people watch because of the content and the information that's being put out. So if it's stuff that you're interested in, chances are it's on the internet and there are other people that are interested in it. So, if you put it out there and people watch it, it's probably something, people are going to want to watch. And we're willing to help. So I guess we're going to try and wrap this up. We've been on for an hour, and we wanted to kind of keep it a little bit shorter, and be sure to tune in for Chris Before Coffee tomorrow we'll probably have some sort of philosophical discussion. So I want to thank Theo and John for joining us.
Okay.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Try and catch you guys tomorrow because it's midnight here, and some of us got 4 a.m. start in the morning. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Good night.
Right.
And thanks for having me on, Jamie. Good to talk.
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.